Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Critical Twits. Today, Fallout 4, Weighed and Measured. This is going to be a new feature that we're going to do from time to time.
Yeah, it's probably safest.
Yeah, where we will take a look at a game that's been out for a while. We're going to look at it in depth. Most reviews are done very quick around the time things come out.
Yeah.
We want to take the long view, look back at something, look in depth.
Yeah.
Have a good hard look at whether Fallout 4, in this case, is actually worth playing.
Yeah.
Haven't actually introduced myself.
That's fine.
I'm Brian Ennis.
I'm Aaron Ravinsky.
And I'm Colin Howard.
Yeah, excellent. So we've all now had time to play Fallout 4. I've had it since pretty much it first came out.
Yeah.
Because I have no willpower.
Yeah, I think I got it at about the same time.
Yep.
I got it once I handed my uni work in, so 5th of January.
Yeah.
Which might not seem like a long time, but I've done pretty much nothing but play it for 10 hours a day.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're pretty much at the point I am from what I can see. So,
what else am I going to do at 8:30 in the morning when I wake up? Be productive?
Yeah, have breakfast,
No,
take a shower.
That's rubbish. Don't do that. Play Fallout.
Are you living the Fallout? You're just like, I've got a can of beans, I've got something on fire next to me, sorted. This is post-apocalypse.
I've got some cereal without any milk. Cereal's probably irradiated. That's fine.
Is that why we're all drinking out of rusty cans today?
Yes, that's what it is.
I thought we could start by discussing the story of Fallout 4. Fallout, I think, as a series, there's been some really great stories. Yeah. I've really enjoyed, especially Fallout 2.
Yeah,
it's one of my favourite games ever. I really enjoyed the story. You're looking slightly confused, Colin.
I only played it Fallout 3 and Fallout 4.
Yeah, that's all right.
You played New Vegas as well?
No.
No?
Because I heard it was terrible.
Nice.
And very, very buggy. And I'd just done about 400 hours on Fallout 3 and was very much Fallouted out.
Okay, as someone who's only played Fallout 3 then,
yes.
What do you think of the story of Fallout 4 so far?
Well, the main plot of go find your son is not that interesting to me, to be honest.
I found it rubbish, boring, dull, and uninspired.
And one of the main reasons is you have no idea when you were thawed out.
No.
And to make it worse, and this might just me digging in too much, but when you first get out of your cryogenic chamber, when you read some of the terminals, it says that the scientists noticed that you woke up at one point.
Yes.
Which is when you realise that your son's being kidnapped. Well, that must be within the 180 days where they put the vault on lockdown before everybody then started murdering one another, because they say it's locked for 180 days waiting for the all-clear signal.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got to be within that 180 days.
Not necessarily.
Well, it's got to be at some point when the scientists are alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 200 years.
Yeah.
Unless they've cryogenically frozen that baby again, it's dead.
No, because the scientists wouldn't... If a load of armed men burst into the vault, opened up the things, shot someone and ran off with a baby, the scientists wouldn't say, Subject 7 appeared to wake up.
Yeah.
That would not be the observation they make.
No.
That was well after the scientist. You woke up at a different point as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Well, I'm still not invested in finding a child, because the very nature of Fallout means... Look over there, that's the main plot, and we all head south.
The thing is there's no investment from the character. I think if there was more of her or him, depending on which you're playing, we're all playing female characters, but if it was more, the character going, I need to find my family at more points. Why are you asking me this? You're not helping me towards
like The Fugitive. Where's my family? Where's my family? No, that's not how he sounds. But he does shout, where's my family?
Well, yes, instead of coming across a person who goes, would you help with this settlement? And going, why not? No, rather than going, well, I should really look for my son.
It's got that thing where it's trying to build suspense and, there's this thing that's happening, you need to go and do this. And it's trying to be like, go and do this. Oh, it's really important. It must be the big main thing.
Yeah.
But that can be annoying in big open world games, because if you're playing true to the particular story, of course you wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
You would just be like, I need to find my son. And the very first thing that happens apart from the dog that magically turns up and you get without having to try and actually do anything to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, how convenient! The one dog that you find in the game is waiting for you in the thing.
Yeah.
Don't like that. But
It's quite funny that it's that red rocket, though.
Yeah.
yes, but
It's totally inconsistent.
your character really, if you're playing true to what's happening in front of you, it should be Sean.
Yes, yeah.
Jason!
As you'd like to think a parent would have towards
Yeah.
their missing child.
So just a throwback to Heavy Rain. There.
Yeah.
I never played it, didn't like it.
You look. That's what I was explaining for you because you looked confused.
Just you don't need to play up to that bit. Just spam the X button from screen Jason.
I have seen
It's amazing.
videos of spamming the X button.
The Jason button.
Yeah.
Press Jason now.
You can actually spam it enough that the game breaks and he continues the rest of the game screaming,
That's the video I've seen. I think he was standing over a corpse and was going, Jason!
That's just externalising his inner monologue. That game is art. Because all that's happening in his brain for the rest of the game is it's just shouting Jason at him over and over and over again. It's become the screensaver in his brain because he's so broken by the loss of his child.
I'm sad now.
Should have paid more attention to him then, shouldn't he?
Oh yeah, to be honest.
So you mocking their work of art as a glitch. You've just unlocked the truth. Anyway, back to... I'll just take my tinfoil hat off. And we'll move on. I don't like the story. The main story is uninteresting, uninspired. Genuinely one of the worst stories in a Fallout game ever. I actually have absolutely no attachment to anything that's going on in the main plotline. Well, is that just me?
This was a bit like this in 3 and New Vegas, to be honest.
No, I disagree with 3.
The purifier stuff. Yeah, it's all about just getting to that water purifier and everything else, and it felt like it was leading up to something massive, and there was not really any payoff to it. And the bits leading up to it didn't quite push that.
I did all the bad things in that game.
Yeah.
Did all the evil options. It does if you had the DLC, Point Break, and... Was it? No, not Point Break, that's a movie. It was Point Lookout and Broken something or other there.
I'd love it if it did have a Point Break DLC where you could just fire your gun.
Fire and gun into the screaming.
No! It's a great film.
It's not like there were bad stories necessarily. I see what you mean. It wasn't a bad story in 3 or anything.
I think it was probably better having Liam Neeson, because we all love Liam Neeson's voice.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
was very soothing.
But
He should be everyone's dad.
Yes.
But the story in those ones didn't feel like you had to go do this at this particular point because...
No, it was...
I mean, they even put it in with 3 that your dad was kind of...
hard.
Hidden. Yeah, he was, he knew what he was doing because he's from the Wasteland originally anyway.
Yeah.
And he was safely protected somewhere. He was just trapped.
Yes, it's a bit different. It's go find your son, go find dad. Well, dad's Liam Neeson, and therefore he's already murdered half the population of the world. And it's go find dad. Well, he's moving around and he's fine, whereas...
Ironically, wasn't he taken?
Yes. But yeah, I see what you mean, that it's not... You should be very much involved in finding your kid, and... We've all wandered off in opposite directions, going, what's over here?
I like my favourite from the Fallout games. I mean, I've played all of the Fallout games.
Yeah.
Even Tactics.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Brotherhood of Steel.
terrible. It's just...
But it wasn't. No. But Fallout 2 was we need a Gek. Go find a Gek.
Yeah.
Fallout 1 was
Fallout 1 was the water chip.
chip.
You had a countdown during that. If
Yeah.
you don't find it in that time, the vault dies.
Yeah.
There is a consequence to not doing the main storyline in time. You've got enough time to do side stuff to help you out, but if you don't focus on it, you will lose.
And once
then
you know
carry
where
on
it is, you
afterwards.
can just go pick it up in about half an hour.
Yeah, which is part of the joke for it, wasn't it? Because there's another vault that's just full of water chips.
Yes.
That was one of their experiments. They sent them all the water chips and not you.
Right.
Which is sort of an
That sounds
amusing
very
side thing.
Bolt-like.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Yeah, it's kind of the start of the vault jokes,
Taking
if
the
you like.
piss out of everybody.
Yeah, So they're both very exploratory. You need to go and find this thing, and you're trying to track down clues, and you're going here, there, and you're following dead ends, and it sort of organically takes you to different places. I've been all over the place in Fallout 4. From a story point of view, there's no point to me having done that. When you meet Preston Garvey straight away, and he says, "Do you want to help us build a settlement?" You'd say, "That's lovely, but no, I've got to go find my son, you idiot."
Yeah.
Instead of
go to Diamond City, but which on to everything else. But
now there was a bit. I tried to immediately go to Diamond City at like level 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you
and it's really hard. So it then feels like
because you have to get through Boston, which is
full of
people who haven't played it but played free. It's like getting to Rivet City. You have to go through the Washington, and that's just mad at low levels.
Yeah. So that made me go, right, okay, I do need to do some stuff and level up and get better equipment and things like that. And then by the time I'd kind of messed around for 10 hours, I didn't really care about the story anymore. Yeah. And as you're right, it's very obvious at the beginning when your son is taken away from you, and then you are re-cryogenically frozen, and then you thaw back out, and it could have been 100 years. Yeah. It could have been 3 seconds, because it feels like 3 seconds.
Yeah. One of the...
But obviously it's not going to sit there in real time and wait however many years. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It'd be funny.
It's like when you talk to Valentine, which I've only recently done, and he interviews you, and he says that the guy that he thinks kidnapped your kid was with a 6-year-old. And one of the options on the dialogue tree is, no, that's not Sean.
Yeah.
And I didn't press that, because I presume when you press it, he goes, no, my son's not 6 years old. But then I was kind of thinking, well, he might be 6 by now.
Yeah.
He could be 60 by now.
Yeah.
He could be 150 by now. Seems really...
I've got quite a bit further ahead in the story than you.
Yeah.
But actually, the main story, I've had the next part of the main story, the next thing, and it's literally, I've done the mission.
Yeah.
It's go to this place and, kind of turn it in, if you like. I've had that sat there for about 30 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
And I just haven't bothered.
No, at the moment, Valentine we've got to break into the guy's house. Yeah. Valentine is still waiting outside the door because I got bored and wandered off and went, I'm going to go do this quest instead, and I'll come back to him at some point.
So rather than the main story then, which I think we're kind of in agreement really isn't up to much.
No.
Yeah.
Sadly.
You need Liam Neeson's voice. That'll make me find the person immediately.
New Vegas was very story heavy.
Yes.
Almost a little bit to the point the other way where it was like, you'd had this life before, and I wasn't. It's like, well, that's not what I'd have done. I wouldn't have been like that. I wouldn't have been involved with these people if I was playing this character.
It was assuming things.
Well, it does that amnesia thing. You get shot in the head,
and then
you always get shot in the bit of your memory that holds the last. Just none of your skills, but all your
and the main story you kind of accidentally fall across. You've got the option to go tracing it down, but as a character, it gives you kind of the options to go, you know what, I don't give a shit, I just want to keep away from it, but you get embroiled in anyway because you're involved with something quite big. That made sense as a story side of it, but I see what you mean. There's this whole life behind that. Hey, you have no investment in as a character because that wasn't you. Now, don't get me wrong, I've heard people who've suffered with severe amnesia and seen documentary stuff where that's how they talk. They do feel that themselves. They look back on stuff they did in that life, and that's not what I do. Yeah. That's a completely separate person at that point. So it works, but story-wise, it's not great.
I felt bitter regret looking back at some of the decisions I've made in life.
Yeah.
All those decisions that led me here with you.
Excellent. That's what we live for.
But that doesn't matter if there's really interesting side plots and side stories to get involved in.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you found any really interesting side stories to get involved in?
A couple that have intrigued me.
So Aaron just opened up the creaky dungeon door that lives inside his face.
Yes. My memories are tightly stored away in a lockbox.
You're a 90s survival horror game and you were loading the next room.
There was a couple. I've only found one vault so far.
Okay.
Which one?
A1.
Have you not done the one for the main plot?
Isn't that the one with the people in?
With the vault one.
There's the one with all the 1920 style gangsters in it,
Oh no, I haven't
no.
come across that one yet.
where you go with the guy that's a thing. No,
No, I haven't got to that bit
see,
yet.
I've
Oh,
got-
no, that's fine.
this is the awkward bit of I don't want to spoil it for you as well as
No, it's fine. 'cause
the listeners at home.
I've had enough chance to get to those bits, and I've chosen not to. This is one of the things with Fallout. I've had time to play it, and I've chosen to do other things instead.
Okay.
Not because there's anything wrong necessarily with Fallout, but I've just not been pulled in by as much. So you happen to talk about things.
Yeah,
like this.
Valentine takes you. The quest for Valentine takes you to a vault.
Okay.
Oh, have you not actually?
Have you not got Valentine yet?
I've got the story up for him.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
actually gone to
You-
him. I went and did other things.
You go to a underground vault. It's been built into the subway system. Vault Tech bought the subway system and built the vault into it because
Okay.
cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's a really interesting idea,
Yes.
and you just run through it shooting people.
Oh.
Well, I read all the computers because I was interested
Yeah,
to
so
know
you did
what
do that
was
in the other
going on
Fallout
because
as well.
there's
There's a little
no
bit there.
there's
but
no bodies there.
Mm.
So I was very interested to know what was going on. Now,
we're still building it, weren't they?
yes and no. They had the employees working in there, but I don't think they had time to get.
Seal it shut. That's the one where they they wanted to pick the person who was the worst possible candidate to be
A leader.
to be the leader.
Okay.
So you've got these interview tapes where you've got someone who's going to be a really great leader and is talking all the things, and they cut him off and they're like, yeah, fine. And then you've got this crazy guy who's like, if they did anything against me, I'd have him shot in an instant. Oh, you can't trust anyone. Oh, don't trust the government. Oh, they'll put chips in your brain. And they're like, you've got the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am
Might be
gonna-
funny, actually.
I'm going to
Yeah.
spoil it for Am because I found the vault very interesting.
Yeah.
They built it for rich people. The elite of society were going to go in there.
With a nutter in charge.
Yeah, but it was going to be a special vault where they get all their privileges and all that they've enjoyed in life. But actually, when they got there, they were going to all be multiple families stuck in one room. They would have to share amenities, food would be scarce, and they'd have a leader who's completely insane.
Oh,
So it was actually going, which I quite liked. So I went, oh, they're going to screw
funny.
with politicians.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Yeah.
But it looks like, although the employees were in there, at some stage it doesn't look like the vault was ever used.
Okay, so they don't actually follow through as such with that premise.
I think the bombs,
But the ideas,
I think the bombs fell before they moved it.
I was going to say the bombing of Boston in this game seems to be everything was so close to the blast that not many people seem to have got to vaults and things. So that seems to be not as prevalent in this game.
Yes,
You don't have a lot of time from the warning to actually going down into the...
No.
it's warning. It's watch TV. That place has been blown up.
Yeah.
Run to the vault. Get in. Bam.
Yeah.
Did anyone run the other way and refuse to do what they were told?
Yes.
Yeah, you get blown up.
Yeah, it's great. It was hilarious.
Bomb goes off and kills you.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
I tried to punch someone, but the controls wouldn't let me.
Oh.
I tried to punch a man in the power armor because I went, I'll have that. It wouldn't let me do it,
Nice.
which was a shame.
So, we've got... Yes, you were trying to tell us of an interesting...
The interesting subplots.
a bit. I mean, that was mildly amusing.
Yeah, I
the
quite
bit
enjoyed that.
in the vault. Yeah,
I
that was
quite
alright.
enjoyed Vault 81, the background stuff that's going on when you find there's a secret tunnels into that.
Gutted by Vault 81.
The actual Vault 81 itself I could take or leave, but the stuff that's going on inside of it, where it's like a portal, there's another group of scientists watching them and they're testing chemicals and diseases out on them and stuff like that. I like that as a premise. That quite intrigued me. I wanted to find more computers and read up more on that one.
I have an unfortunate story about Vault 81 from myself.
What did you do?
Well,
Did you kick another cat?
No, I haven't even been there.
There's a bit where you've got to
unfortunately.
rescue a cat to try not to shoot it.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, I haven't been there because I came across a group of raiders that had a vault dweller walking with them.
Yeah.
So I killed the raiders, and then I spoke to the vault dweller, and he went, "Oh, that's the last time I get sent out on a mission." And then it came up saying, "Investigate Vault 81," and I went, "Ooh, here we go, the first vault." And then I got hit by a mini nuke from a super mutant, which killed me. And when it reloaded, the raiders weren't there with the vault dweller, so I have no idea where Vault 81 is. So I haven't gone there yet because it.
You will, but I'll say you'll hear about it somewhere else.
Yeah.
and you can
I had
things.
it. It was on my mini map.
I spoke to somebody that popped up.
I can't even remember where I saw it on the map because I briefly looked and went, "Oh, I'll do that later," but I didn't save. I carried on going, got killed, and it reloaded before that had happened, and that event didn't load. So I don't know where it is.
It's quite good when you do have a look around there. Yeah. And the stuff leading up to the railroad intrigued me, and then disappointed me.
Yeah, I found it really. Yeah, I wasn't that intrigued by it.
Well, I was hopeful
I just
it.
Kind of did it because I kind of accidentally stumbled across it.
Well, it felt like it was going to be this big kind of treasure hunt type thing. Like to find them, you had to do some special code breaking and things like that, because it was giving you a little code, you had to follow a path, write things down and stuff like that. And then the actual bit was like you put in a password on a system. It was really obvious.
Oh, okay.
I'm finding it hard. I mean, to think of any really standout story or character or humour-based moments. Yeah. And that's what's one of the other things that's disappointed me about Fallout. Fallout's always had a very individual sense of humour.
Yeah.
You've got your special videos at the beginning,
which are amazing.
Which are really, really good.
Well done. Yeah.
But it's actually, I'm finding it quite po-faced, quite serious, quite heavy.
It has been, yeah.
And Fallout, yes, it can have that, and it is dark and it is futuristic, but it's also had lots of quirky humour and silly bits in it.
Yeah, I mean, coming across, the Knights of the Round Table from Monty Python was,
Yes, I mean, Vegas, I haven't played Vegas, but there was a gang of ladies that ran around with rolling pins, beating everybody to death.
Yeah, and you had the gang of Elvises.
Yeah, the gang of Elvises.
Wild Elvi.
Yeah, which, yes, none of that is in... Probably the closest we've got in Fallout 4 are the teddy bears. Which, for those of you who haven't played it, there are teddy bears doing lots of strange things in the wasteland. I found one with reading glasses, a newspaper on the toilet.
Yeah.
I found one with it was in a supermarket actually, and it was in the security office, and it had a bin up. It had handcuffs on and a waste paper bin upside down.
That's because it had been shoplifted. Bad Teddy.
I've also found one where it looks like some teddy bear has drowned someone.
Yeah.
There's a person, it's a skeleton, the head's in the toilet, and then there's a teddy bear on top of it, looking like the teddy bear's holding the person's head down.
I found one in a classroom, sat there with a book and some glasses on as if he's doing some studying. That one's quite cool.
What I have found with the humour is I found lots of bits that have made me chuckle. For example, have any of you been to the bank in Boston?
No, don't think so. I've been so many places there.
You can unlock the safe, go inside the safe, and there's nothing there. Because there's a massive hole in the wall of the safe itself and a skeleton.
Yeah.
Now you then look out, and there's another skeleton at the bottom where all the money is. And basically, from reading the little piece of paper, is that someone doing a bank job as the bomb fell. Which amused me because the letter of it was, "This is amazing. Half the security guards are off today because they've all been signed up for this Vault Tech training. Right, we're going to hit there. This is going to be the best day of our lives."
Yeah.
And then they've been hit. And it's one of them's outside and one of them's half in the vault. So they're actually just about to get out the building when the bomb's fallen, which amused me quite a lot.
Yeah.
Have you come across the littering of raider corpses where they're having an intervention with one of them for the food paste he's got a problem with?
Yeah.
He's got too aggressive and he's holding on to his food paste and he's killed the rest of them.
No, I haven't come across that.
That was quite funny.
There's some nice quirky little bits in it, but there's not as many. They're not as good as before.
You've got to notice them. I could have easily walked into that bank vault, picked up the stuff and walked out without even putting two and two together.
Diamond City's quite bland. It's a city that's on the baseball pitch.
Yeah.
They've not got any of their culture influenced by baseball. The only real noticeable thing is that the guards are wearing that. They have a mayor. Why not have a general manager like a baseball team would? Why not include some of the other...
They've got the guy in there who's looking for the baseball cards.
He's
and stuff like that. He's completely taken on what baseball watch he is. Because
I agreed with him
he's
on
listening
that.
to the...
he thinks baseball is...
violent blood sport.
Both teams had baseball bats and ran onto the field and murdered one another, which I agreed with him on that. I went, that sounds like fun.
But why not? Why not have them actually, like some of them, go and play that in the game? So you'd come along and it'd be every Sunday at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
2 teams of 4 of them ran out into the baseball field and hit each other with bats, and they'd be like, just watching the game. That'd be amazing. That'd be funny. But instead it's just that there's not enough sort of follow through on the premise and not enough thinking for me.
I wonder if there's a few too many, you need a knowledge of Boston to understand some of the in-jokes occasionally. Like there was these reference the noodle stand as the most amazing thing ever.
Is it?
Yeah, when you're talking to people, they talk about having to go to the noodle stand. It's a staple thing that everybody's done since they've been hiding in the stadium since the bombs fell. They go to the Japanese-speaking robot who can only speak, do you want noodles in Japanese, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's a staple of where they all go. Now, I don't know if that's something. It feels that's something that happened. That there's a particular thing in Boston around this particular brand, a similar brandish thing around the area. But I don't know Boston, so I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Whereas the other games, I mean, like Bethesda had their offices in Washington, so you could go into their office in Washington.
Yes.
That was a nice little in-joke, but there wasn't too much of that other stuff in there.
Yeah.
It was more a broader culture of things rather than very specific to a locality. So maybe there is a lot more of it in there. So somebody from Boston, if somebody happened to be from Boston or know Boston's listening to this and knows there are more little touches in it than we're seeing.
It just seems quite niche.
Yes, I think that's potentially the problem. They've gone a little bit too narrow.
I don't remember the other Fallout games being quite so niche in their thing. The other thing, I mean, to me, there's not enough of these bits where they've taken an idea and really run with it, and I think it might be that the game is actually too big, because that kind of thing requires thinking about quite a lot of writing, quite a lot of man time to sort of crunch and go, okay, if this happened, then this happened, then this happened.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Whereas just dumping 20 raiders in a random pattern in an area and building a new raider settlement is actually fairly much quicker.
Much straightforward.
There's a lot of bits there that don't follow through for me. I came across a racetrack where raiders were betting on robots racing around a track.
Yeah.
And I saw this racetrack and I saw these things go past me and I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to get to do some robot racing. And I thought maybe you'd like have a bit where you'd maybe buy a robot and then you'd go out and you might. And I had all these ideas in my brain.
Like you can do with Oblivion with the gladiatorial ring. You can kind of bet it, or you can build a gladiator.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a whole little thing. Bit like if you ever played Fallout 2, you can become a boxer, and you train up, and you do the whole box, and you become basically the heavyweight king or queen of New Reno.
Yeah,
you get a perk for being the heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And there's all this stuff that kind of goes with it. It's like a little quest all on its own.
Yeah.
Including a bit where you can cheat and put weights in your boxing glove and things like that.
Bite somebody's ear off.
Yeah. A reference to
Tyson, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Someone. There's loads of little the names of the titles of each section is going to be a reference to previous box.
And it's a really nice little bit. Do you know what happens when you run into the racetrack?
You have to murder everybody.
Yeah, it's all the raiders turn hostile.
Yeah.
And it's just another combat. And I just thought they haven't followed through with that. They haven't done anything with it. It's a really cool idea that they're going, wouldn't it be cool if there was a racetrack and they were racing robots?
Now,
yeah. And then you just fight.
Have they taken something from New Vegas? Because there was a bit where you had to be if you're wearing the right clothing.
No, it's always a fight. There's nothing you can do. It's raiders. Always.
Or, yeah,
you can dress in Raider outfit.
In Fallout 3, I know there were certain places you could go where the Raiders weren't hostile.
Yeah, New Vegas. I mean, there was the powder bomb gang. You could completely go against them, but if you wore the powder outfit, you could walk in and talk to people.
Yeah. There's another bit where similar thing. You go into a bar. Sorry, not into a bar, into a theatre, an old ruined theatre.
Yeah.
And on the stage, they built a cage. And in the cage, there's two people beating each other to death for the entertainment of the clientele. And you look, and there's a bar in one corner. There's someone who's obviously like the manager or the stage guy. There's all these people about. There's some teddy bears sat up in the high seats.
Excellent.
For Colin's amusement. Yeah. And the moment you walk in, and actually anyone notices you, they turn hostile, and it just becomes a big fight.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, I could be a pit fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be awesome. No, there's nothing to it. It's just another fight, and it just feels like there's so many missed opportunities in the game. last one
Yeah.
is finding a giant cargo boat
Yeah.
that's been turned into a raider fortress.
Yeah.
And there's loads of Mirelurks, the mutated crab things, in the bottom. And there's raiders living on the top. And basically, you climb up onto the top and you fight your way to the end. There's a boss, and then you climb back down and carry on your way. There's so much more that could have been
Done.
with that. There could have been an interesting cargo. There could have been a subplot to do with it. There could have been... And I'm just thinking, where's the development?
Yeah.
There's just a lot. There's just a hell of a lot of stuff to find, but a lot of the stuff is quite similar.
Yeah. Well, this is the problem with video games now. I mean,
This year particularly.
I don't know how much Fallout has cost. I haven't looked it up, but I can tell you, say, Destiny, for example, had a £140 million price tag for its development. Now, Fallout won't be anywhere near that high, but GTA had a £60 million price tag to it. When you're throwing that kind of money...
Hire some writers.
Yes, but when you've already thrown that kind of money at it, you have to be able to get stuff out. Yes, a lot of the stuff looks the same, but some of these companies, especially like Bethesda, are spending £1 million a month on staff.
I would rather have a smaller game that was more engaging.
Yes,
Well,
but that's not what the industry does anymore.
No.
Is it the ultimate giant mega 2015 game?
Yes, I think this is what's happened. We've just got a stream of open world games this year.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Absolutely tons of them. We've just got weary.
It used to be I'm going to get a game out. It was third person or first person shooter.
Yeah.
That was the staple thing for a while. If you recall, it was cover based.
Yeah.
You had Inversion.
And
as soon as Gears of War came out, everything was
A third-person cover-based. In 1991, everyone had a side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah.
The McDonald's had a side-scrolling platformer.
Yeah, now we've got the new engines, we've got the new consoles, everything's gone open world. Assassin's Creed is open, well, that's a bad example because it's always been kind of open world, but Assassin's Creed, Mad Max, you've got
Mad
Far
Max was
Cry's.
interesting because that's a film tie-in.
Yeah.
But it's actually one of these massive mega games.
Yeah, but everything coming out now as, we're going to put this out, it's become open world, and so it's not going to be as exciting.
Do you know what I really want in Fallout as well?
What's that?
A car.
Yes, they had them in the previous
Fallout 2, you could get a car and drive. I can't remember one.
Yeah.
In Fallout 2, you can buy a car quite early on.
Yeah.
You've got to find fuel for it, and if you. But you can actually store items in the boot of the car. You drive it around. If you drive it out to the middle of nowhere and run out of fuel, it then just kind of zooms in, and you're like, I'm going to walk that way.
Yeah.
And you can end up dying horribly.
Yeah.
I know why they haven't done it.
Because it'd be really, really difficult.
Yeah, because the ground's not flat, and you're using collision on something.
There's a mod for Fallout 3 that you can find. You have to find all the parts for it to repair it and fuel it up. A bike outside of Megaton,
Right.
but you don't ride it essentially places. But it works the same way as the car, but it fast travels you places.
You click on it and it becomes your fast.
In
travel.
essence, it becomes a fast travel thing, but it disables fast travel in other manners.
In other ways.
Even doing that would have worked quite nicely.
That sounds quite good.
I have heard, because Bethesda have said that their DLCs are going to be player chosen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to. I don't know if they're having a voting system or they're just going to look at feedback. But they've said that
They're going to pick one person, come around their house, knock on their door.
and ask what they want.
Yeah.
But I've heard there has been a big calling for vehicles. I don't think it can work because the way the ground is built and the collision-based system would probably make your car fly 50 foot in the air and explode.
I was going to say, the problems you were having when we were playing it this evening with having your follower not being able to walk around a rock.
Yeah,
doesn't
and you're
bode
trying to
well for
get a
car
vehicle
doing
over
that.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had, say, a dune buggy, something that was flexible enough, Vertibird, maybe something flying-based like in Far Cry, could work.
I thought you were supposed to be getting kind of a Vertibird you could call in. Maybe we just
You can get
I
a jetpack.
sometimes randomly have the Vertibird turn up. Joining the Brotherhood of Steel, the moment you kind of activate them coming into the world,
Yeah.
and then they randomly sort of come out of verted birds in the sky and join in fights that you're in.
Yes, I have seen some fun videos.
And I think there's some
too.
grenades you can throw to attract one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same way you can do with your artillery
things.
from elsewhere. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not in love with Fallout 4 for its story. It's made me chuckle a few times, but it's not got the humour, the quirkiness of the older games.
Yeah.
It's much more sort of serious, much more po-faced, and I wish they would follow through with some of the ideas that they've had a bit more. However, because we've been quite negative so far, I've played 100 hours of this game. I couldn't tell you. In fact, no, the last game I played that much of, because I haven't even played that much Bloodborne, and I had summer to play Bloodborne.
Yeah.
This has been 100 hours where I've been playing 2 hours every night kind of thing. Just because I want to pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
Because the other side of the game, the combat, the exploration, and the building, and obviously we'll touch on all of these in turn, have been really, really good.
Yes.
And this is why I've played 100 hours. I've never played 100 hours of a game before and still not been certain that I like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's quite an odd feeling. Any other game I've played for to play anything, to really get into something, to play 20 hours.
Yeah.
If I didn't like something, I would get nowhere near that. I would have given up and gone, no, this isn't for me, way before that.
Yeah.
So I don't get on so well with some of the more in-depth strategy titles where you play it for a 25-hour run through.
Yeah.
And then you know how to play it and you play it again.
Yeah. I get similar feelings from, I mean, I was playing Diablo 3 recently.
Oh, yeah.
Similar path for that. I mean, the story could completely leave that on the side of the road. I listen to audiobooks while I'm playing it.
Yeah.
I play Fallout 4 with podcasts on.
Yeah.
I've listened to some really great podcasts while I've been playing Fallout.
Episode 1 to 9 of Critical Twits. No, okay.
I've listened to some of us when we've been checking back, but listening to all sorts, yeah.
Yeah, so it's another one of those games where I put someone on the background because I'm less interested in necessarily what's going on, but I keep wanting to go, I'll pick it up and play it for a little bit. I'll keep picking up and I have exactly the same kind of feeling with it because the mechanics of it all work very nicely. There's something in it that's making me go, I want to do more of this, or I want to go investigate this. I mean, the last couple of days when I was playing this before to remind myself of podcasts because I've been away from it for a little while to do essays and exams joyfully. I played it a couple of times and went, you know what, I'm not going to do the base building and everything else like that. I'm going to go check the main story and stuff so I can actually talk about it because I've not looked at that at all yet.
Yeah.
I got bored.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went straight back to looking at the base building and picking things up and doing that instead.
I can tell you exactly what it is because I figured it out. I had an epiphany.
Are you trying to suggest your magic again, Colin?
I am, because I was bored.
Colin's magic tips.
Yes.
He knows stuff that we don't. I'm not very good at songs.
Yeah, it was brought tear to my eye. But I was the right one, which is rubbish. I played it for about, I think it was about 3-4 hours. I think half of that I was sculpting my character to look like my Commander Shepard from Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, same.
I think I'm in love with my own video game characters. It's a bit weird. But after about 3-4 hours of playing, I was bored. And actually about ready to turn it off. In fact, I did turn it off. And I watched Netflix instead. But then I went back to it. I did the same thing that we've all done and gone, oh, I've just put it back on. I have no idea why. But then I realised why I was putting it back on. Scavenging.
Yeah.
In Fallout 3, you explored because you wanted nice guns, nice weapons, you wanted experience to level up, and you wanted to find Liam Neeson's lovely touching voice until he told me off, and then I felt really sad. That's something I shouldn't have blown up Megaton. But in this...
Megaton?
Yeah, I did.
Bad man.
Oh, Liam Neeson tells you off. He actually says he's not angry, he's just disappointed. It was fucking horrible. I couldn't sleep for a week. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad.
Just very quickly, that character's only in the game for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I felt bad.
5 minutes at the beginning, 15 minutes at the end, but really memorable.
Yes.
There's no characters like that
in
Fallout 4.
But
sorry.
What I found is in Fallout 4, when I realised why I was going back to it, I started enjoying it, and now I'm having a lot of fun. Is instead of going around the wasteland to level up so you can find Dad, I'm going around the wasteland looking for coffee cups and metal straws, so I can build my base.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because.
Yeah,
I mean, and also so I can find new guns, so I can break the guns down. I've got the perk, so I get screws and things like fiberglass and all the shiny stuff from guns now. So I'm breaking all the guns apart. It's all about making a city for me.
Yeah,
I've made my own kind of mini plot where I'm rebuilding civilization.
Yeah.
I have I am the self-appointed mayor of Sanctuary Hills.
Yeah.
I've even made myself an office, as I was telling you guys earlier, and may have shown Aaron not too long ago.
Yeah. I mean, once I realised that I was scavenged, I wasn't exploring for the sake of exploring because the game wanted me to get some XP, but I'm exploring because I need material A, material B, blah 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 blah. I started having a lot of fun. Far more fun than I probably should for building a building.
As someone who's played quite a lot more than you know what I did on Sunday?
What was that?
I went back to somewhere I'd already explored and cleared, because they've got a thing where every 30 game days the loot and such refreshes, but so do the enemies. So in theory you could keep playing forever. Yeah. Which is a bit of a scary thought. I went back to the Super Duper Mart.
Yeah.
Because I'd run out of steel. And I knew there were loads and loads of shopping baskets that are quite light, but also contain quite a lot of steel. Yeah. And it was the first place that came to mind as, there's lots of steel I can steal.
So you remember some steel because it's got stuff you need there.
Yeah, and I spent 20 minutes running around. I got like 100 and something steel, and I felt really, really great. I'd done a post-apocalyptic scavenging. Well, a scavenging run. Yeah, I'm going there to get this stuff for my settlement. Yeah. Which these types of games never have that kind of feel.
No, I was going to say, you were talking about exploring in Fallout 3 and you're looking for, weapons and medkits and things like that, and you had to trawl through so much crap to get those things. Well, it became awkward and annoying.
Why is this ghoul holding a fork? Whereas now you go, a fork, 1 steel, 0.1 weight, that's a bargain.
It's like the, I remember in Fallout 3, I was walking past a building, it looked like some kind of factory thing. I walked in, there was a ghoul, I shot the ghoul in the face, and then I turned around and left. So I went, oh God, this looks like 1,000,000 stories high. There's no lights. Oh, ghouls are a pain in the arse because they were the really nasty ones that took 1.5 million hits.
Oh yeah.
And I went, I've got my laser rifle. I've got my medic power armor. I don't need it.
Medic power armor?
Yeah, the hidden power armor you could find in Fallout 4.
Oh yeah. I've got you. Yeah.
But in Fallout 4, well, I've been walking along, going right. I'm heading to what's that? A factory? I look at my map. Roboco factory? They'll have lots of steel. Off we go. And I've become very excited and going, I found an airplane crash. I nearly wet myself because I went, there'll be all sorts of nuclear material and, chairs and all of this. And I think I spent about half hour combing through the plane, looking everywhere around it for materials.
This is the only game I've played where I've been happy to find a board game inside of the game.
Yes.
The nuclear, whatever it is, it's got
the nuclear material
in it.
Yeah, Blast Radius, the game.
It's the only time I've been happy to be irradiated by the plane, because inside the jet engine there is nuclear material. I was taking 24 rads a second, but I didn't care because I was getting something out of it. And it made me feel like Mad Max. Like a Mad Max game where I'm going, I've spent 6 weeks digging a hole and I found a bottle cap. Yes!
I just want to use that material to make a car. That's all I want. I'm just trying to work out, and I'm hoping you guys can help me, why I've put 100 hours into this game that I'm not that keen on.
The same reason people do it in Minecraft.
Don't say it.
No. I have the same problem with Minecraft.
Yeah.
I will spend ages constructing a ship.
I used to think that Minecraft was a Rammstein song. Minecraft.
Oh my God,
that was terrible. Let's cut that.
300 hours on Minecraft. That city I built. I built a goddamn dock and fishing vessels for a city that has no one living in it.
Can you now understand why I wanted plates in front of the tables at the dining chair?
Yeah? The thing is, Minecraft has got me prepared for not putting plates.
Yes.
Because things aren't going to work. I put villages in Minecraft and they all fell out the roof because I didn't have barriers up in the windows. I've got prepared for the
Okay,
AI
I did want to
stupidity.
say, how does the building compare with Minecraft?
Minecraft is a bit more
Minecraft.
flexible, but there's less options.
Yes, it doesn't look as pretty. You have to use your imagination when you're looking at my fishing.
Yeah, I see. That's never appealed to me because it's like I can build anything I want in 16-bit crap.
Yeah.
I look at it the same way as I do with building the Malifaux models or constructing scenery for a tabletop game with these games. You're building something and you know it's going to be a little bit shonky in places. You know it's not quite perfect.
But it does fit the setting.
It fits what the setting you want it to do. It does just the right thing. In some places it's really satisfying.
Yeah.
I couldn't build a big, massive 10-story shack with machine gun turrets on the side
I'll have
in
you
real
know
life.
it's 5 stories is the maximum you can
5
build because
stories,
it kicks you out of workshop mode. What I found with the building is there's a lot of tricking the computer to get stuff work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has got a level of satisfaction to it.
When I mean when I
be needed.
when I first
It's not as satisfying as just building what you want.
no, but I mean when I first started building, well, actually I disagree with that.
Yeah.
No, see, I find it. I just find it
Because
annoying.
building something that it wants you to, it's like building Lego. Yeah, we can all follow the instructions and it's very nice.
Yeah.
But then getting all your pieces and building a 20-story robot that Lego have said, no, I don't think you could do that with this set, is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
It's like converting a model successfully. It's not designed to do that, but you've pulled it off, and you've pulled it off well.
You've done something the constraints have said you're not allowed to do.
Yeah.
You've gone, fuck you.
Yeah, but
Do
it just
anyway.
when it gets to the point where you want to build a junk fence.
Yeah.
Now, in my opinion, a junk fence should be a fence made of junk that stretches more than 6 foot wide,
Yes.
which is how big the pieces are.
Yeah.
None of them line up together. They all have to have a 6-inch gap between them
Right.
because of the way the clipping works.
Yeah.
So having to put down a doormat so that you can get them to overlap slightly so they look proper.
See, I'm really happy when I do that.
But it's really, it triples the amount of time it takes. I just want to load up the fence, go bang, 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 have a nice looking fence, move on. I don't want to spend 45 minutes lining up each individual one, getting one bit accidentally wrong, not being able to move it, having to chop it out, do it again. It's just frustrating. It slows things down. Yeah, so again, still trying to work out what the appeal of Fallout is, because we've all played a lot of it.
Yes.
This, talking about it, even talking about the bad bits, I still want to go home and play it.
Oh, when you lot bugger off and we stop recording, I am going to turn Fallout back on like I've done all day.
And what are you going to do?
What am that is the thing. What am I going to do? Well,
Because we need to find out what it is about this game that, despite its many quite glaring flaws that we've kind of
touched upon.
touched upon, in some cases we've caressed lovingly, revealed
what it is
to the
we
world.
apparently love about it.
Yes. Well, first thing that there's 2 things that I actually want to do. I'm building a bathroom above the, well, it's kind of a shower room. I've used the ceiling with the fabric.
I did genuinely. I built my 4-story pleasure palace, and I was looking through it going, "This is great." And then the little voice in the back of my head went, "But where does everybody poo?" And I had to go and I turned one of the houses in Sanctuary Hills into a combined bathhouse and toilet area.
I might make a vomitorium when I get home.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
it's like I've used the roof with the fabric, with the spaceship fabric.
Yeah.
The reason for it is because it has holes in. It's got the gaps between the fabric things, so the steam can get out. Because you have to be able to get the heat, otherwise I'm going to get damp. You'll end up with damp.
Have you stuck a ceiling fan in as well to circulate the air?
Yeah, I've got the ceiling fan in. It's like I've put pictures of cats and puppies in the with the medic.
Yeah,
Well, I've used the medic beds. I put a no smoking sign up next to those beds because it's very bad.
Yeah.
But what I'm probably
Kills over 1 Americans every year.
But what I'm aiming for is I need to find ceramic to make the baths and bathroom because I haven't got any of that yet.
I bet you scrapped a load of it when you were clearing the place out.
Yes, but there's nothing left to scrap in Sanctuary Hills. But the other thing I want to do is I've got 4 power armor frames now. I've got 4 power armor stations and 4 sets of power armor, but I've only got 3 frames. So I'm going to go wander around some of the military installations, hoping there's a suit of power armor outside so I can get another frame.
to put your nice shiny new power
Because I
armor.
want
Yeah.
I'd like about 10 suits of power armor.
Why? Why do you need 10?
Because I want an armory.
Why do you need an armory?
Why do I need an armory? The same reason I need a bathroom.
What, to poo in?
Because of I like
Power suit recycles.
because I like the
I do,
idea
yeah.
that when the settlements begin to grow, I'll get visiting dignitaries come round, and we're walking on the ground floor, and there they will see my power armor factory with these 10 suits of all different customized power armors,
I have to-
and they'll realise that this is not a place to fuck with.
You bourgeois belly.
Exactly. And I do like the fact that when I started attacking my settlement, because I did the Bethesda thing of, I've saved the game, let's go crazy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The first thing all my guards did, who all have miniguns, I'd like to point out, is they ran into the base and all put the power armor on, and then all just kind of stomped out in it and murdered me.
And that's what happens when you upset the proletariat.
Yeah, but I quite like the fact that even though, yes, having 10 suits of power armor is a bit pointless, everybody will jump in them. And it'll be really funny if raiders one day turn up, because I won't even join in. I'll go find a vantage point and then just sit there and watch, because it'll be funny.
But joining in is fun, because the combat is quite nice.
Ah, yes.
It's cleaned up very nicely from the previous games, even if there are a few elements to it that it doesn't actually tell you can do, like cover up.
Well, yes, I think that's definitely something we'll talk about afterwards. What Fallout doesn't tell you.
Yes.
Because it's not just combat, it doesn't tell you.
No.
Doesn't tell you anything.
No.
Have they accidentally inhaled just a little bit of Dark Souls when no one's been looking?
Yes.
Let's have a cover system, but not tell anyone that it's there.
Let's build generators and be able to wire lights to walls and not tell people where the wire is.
Let's not tell you can stand around and wait anymore. You have to sit down.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, standing around for 12 hours was a bit ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
But sitting on your arse for 12 hours isn't.
I've
why-
worked in retail. I've done a lot of standing around for hours on end.
It's why I've got airplane seats by my shops so people can sit and wait for them to open.
To actually figure out, then come downstairs from their beds to get to the shop.
Now, see, I went, airplane seats, they look nice. But there's no airplanes nearby for them to have got the seats from. Therefore, in this settlement, they do not deserve airplane seats. I built them different seats.
See, at this point, I'd found an airplane. Which is why I put the airplane seats in. Because I found an airplane. And I've obviously decided that's the epiphany of luxury.
Yeah.
Talking about the combat, I mean, you mentioned power armor. I hate the new way that power armor works. I liked it being armor you put on, you were wearing, you walked around. I do not like this climbing in the back of it using a fusion core in 7 seconds. I don't like it.
Me and Aaron discussed this
Yeah.
because we actually like the power armor.
Yes.
That's because you're rubbish.
Now, I love the fact you have to climb into it.
Yeah, I do.
I love the change in the HUD.
Yeah.
I hate the change in the HUD. It makes my brain hurt.
Even going into your Pip-Boy, I don't know if anybody's gone into the menu screen.
Yeah,
while
it's
wearing
different, it
power
just
armor,
appears, yeah.
because it's
It's
not
actually
on
on
your
the screen
Pip-Boy,
with the
it's
power armor.
on...
I spend half my life in that menu screen, shuffling coffee mugs and dirty ashtrays into my companion's inventory.
Have you...
Or inventory.
Inventory. Have you tried building in power armor?
No, not
You
yet.
know you get the green light when you're building,
Yeah.
but all the lights are yellow in the power armor. The light is yellow when you're building, so everything goes yellow when you're building in power armor.
You're a fan of colours, aren't you?
Yeah. So but they put the thought into it.
Yeah.
Now the only I like the way you climb into it because
Yeah.
it does make you feel like a badass.
Yeah, it does. It makes it feel like it is an actual power armor.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And I don't know why, a transformer.
I suppose because everything kind of shifts around you. and
Those
clumps
movies
in.
were shit. I think we can all agree. But when the car pulls up and it turns into a robot, and then you just go, "Yes, shit is about to get wrecked."
Yeah, yeah.
It's what happens when I step into the power armor. Is
it clunking
no?
around
I've
you?
got a better one. Sorry, it's like Iron Man.
Yes, yeah.
You are becoming, you are Tony Stark originally, you're a bit shit, and then you step into Iron Man armour, and that's when you're going, right,
Yeah.
shit's about to die.
It
And I
does.
really like that. It's a
Yeah.
power trip.
It reminds me a lot of the sort of the big mech things in anime that I've watched quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
You know, it feels like you're actually putting yourself into something and you are bigger and better than you were before. And it does, like you said, that power fantasy really comes through with the power armor. Unfortunately, you don't want to use it because the fusion cores are so rare.
Yes.
And it doesn't. There are a lot of occasions where it's very useful.
But you don't know it's going to be useful until you're in the situation where it's going to be useful.
When we were talking about this, we were talking about it might be a problem with game theory type things, like Bloodborne and stuff. Advertises when there's a boss coming up. You know the way the doorway is or anything like that. You can kind of figure out there's a boss coming in this section.
I've been playing this bit for ages, therefore the boss must be coming.
Yeah. Because
there's lots of dead things nearby.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy.
Well, I found like with the cleric beast there's an archway and a long bridge. That's a very boss arena for dark. Oh, and there's no enemies on it. Right, boss is coming.
Yeah. So you're supposed to know that, so you can go spend your souls or blood echoes and stuff like that. They can't really do that for it because it doesn't thematically fit.
No.
But the way they've designed the power armor is so it's supposed to be put on when you come across the big strong enemies, holds and bosses and things, but it can't advertise those too well because that'll break the theming of the game too much.
Yeah, and you can't carry power armor around with you unless you unlock something from
You can put your
the
companion
city
in it to carry it around, but I've got so angry at Preston for wandering around with my power arm and then going, oh, Willard, and just charging himself into the middle of combat
getting it all
and
broken.
destroying the whole thing. So when I get to something I could use it in, I've got an arm left.
Now, after some investigating, because again, the game doesn't tell you this, I kept finding in certain locations the power armor frames.
Yeah.
There's loads of them kicking
The
about.
workstations, sorry.
Yeah.
And I realised that I figured they were there because going hint, hint, a fairly subtle, but a hint, hint, maybe you want to get your power armor out, or maybe I think there was one at the edge of Boston I found, at the very edge of the city.
Yeah.
The problem is, in order to build your power armor you've got on you, you need the frame.
Yeah.
You're at a level where you don't need the power armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit in the game you guys won't have reached from talking to you, where it goes, go to this heavily irradiated, really, really scary, nasty place where nobody goes.
Yeah.
Nobody goes there because they die.
Yeah.
There is someone there who's managed to sort of fluke their way over there. You will need a suit of power armor. Make sure you go and get one.
Yeah.
And it becomes this kind of this optional thing, get power armor. I already had like 6 suits. But I took some chems and walked there because it told me I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I made it.
Yeah.
I did it. I used up quite a few chems, but I made it, got there, did the thing, and then I fast travelled out. And you don't get hurt on the way out because you fly through the sky magically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, there's some of the issues with it. I mean,
and then it's making me go back to that place, and I'm going, just fast travel there. I don't need to do. It was a really epic quest. I was like, I might die at some point.
Yeah.
Well, you got to love the epic walks. That's half the reason we play the game is for the epic walks.
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying about power armor maybe coming in too early, and that set piece is
you
nice.
get it 7 minutes in, really, don't you?
Yes. What I would have done is made it incredibly difficult to find. Have you only find pieces of it that will always be broken, and you have to get the right perks in order to repair it and build it in the first place.
Very similar to how the previous games would work.
Yeah,
well, you weren't got the pieces, but you didn't find it till late game.
Yeah.
But when you finally have your full set of power armor, you're able to customize it, have it work from then on. Still climb into it, because climbing into it I enjoy.
Yeah.
But have it so it doesn't run off fusion cores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not happy with the system for it as it is.
They've tried something new.
Yeah.
I quite like the fact it's not normal armor.
I like the fact it's customizable.
You can get into it in your armor, so they stack. Do they not?
Yes.
Yeah, but I like the fact
And
it doesn't.
I have an armored jumpsuit as well.
Yeah, I like the fact it doesn't feel like normal armor.
I'm kind of like an onion when I get in it. Very layered.
It feels heavy. It feels like power armor should feel. It's not. I put on a hat and it just happens to be really hard.
I run everywhere because I'm impatient. And when I get in the power arm and I go, there's a thing over there, and I can see that needle on the fusion core just drain.
Yeah.
It really puts me
off.
off.
Do you know why? Because you know what happens if you run into someone wearing power armor sprinting?
There's a perk that lets you run them over, essentially, right high on the strength thing.
when you hit someone running in power armor, it knocks them flying. If you have the perk, it also does damage.
Okay.
I've seen someone do more damage by hitting someone in power armor than their guns do
Nice.
at that high level because,
Okay.
well, it's like you can imagine a Space Marine.
Yeah.
If anyone's read the 40k books, you read the story and it goes, this Space Marine ran into this bloke and his cheekbone exploded and died. It's that.
Reminds me of rugby when I was in year 7.
Yeah, you can actually just barrel through people and go, I've just killed 17 raiders by walking on them.
Yeah.
Which again, I like. It feels heavy,
Yeah.
but it was far too easy to get hold of, and they've punished us with that by making it difficult to use.
Yeah.
I'm level 20 now. I have 3 suits of power armor. I think I've got 9 or 10 fusion cores. I still don't want to use the armor because I'm going to run out of fusion cores.
Yeah.
And at the moment, with my armor setup, my settlers can jump in it, and it's far more useful to them than it is to me.
Yeah, I'd take the fusion cores out because I don't like to share. The rest of the combat, though,
It's lovely.
is much nicer than... It's always a little bit clunky, a little bit janky.
I'm going to say it was
It
horrible.
wasn't smooth. Yeah. It was doable.
Yeah, it was
playable.
It was doable,
alright,
but I relied heavily on VATS in order to hit anything.
Yes, yeah. Whereas now, I mean, I use VATS a lot. I like VATS.
Yeah.
I use it occasionally when I go, I forgot about critical hits, I need to build up the meter, I might as well use it. But most of the time, I'm one-hit killing people with a sniper rifle anyway.
Yeah, same. Because the gunplay works nicely in that respect.
Yeah,
you
you
do
can
that,
snipe.
which you couldn't really do very well in the previous game.
Yeah, it wasn't
Laser
as
rifles
smooth.
actually hit things when I pull the trigger without having to go into VATS, which unlike 3, I was always using VATS to shoot, and I can actually...
Yeah, because you would shoot wide and stuff if your percentage was too low. Which
But
is
I'm
quite easy.
actually hitting people firing normally with a laser rifle, and pretty well.
Yeah. So the combat's nice. And it
Really,
flows.
really smooth, really happy with it. I really like the 12 quick slots it gives you.
Yes,
three on the up, 3
I
left,
almost
3
felt
right.
it was genius.
And I mean, it's fun. It throws. There's a semi decent variety of enemies. There's some stuff that I haven't seen before in Fallout games.
Yeah, legendary enemies are quite nice.
I don't like the way they mutate
No,
because they don't. They just basically their things. They just get their health back and get a little bit nastier.
their resistances change as well.
Yeah, but they don't look any different.
No,
and I don't understand how they've mutated. It doesn't fit.
No,
I know
it
the
gets-
idea of mutation and that silly kind of 50s atomic mutation changes thing. I'd love for a raider to grow a third arm that reaches out and punches me in the face
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
That's what my brain is
I
thinking.
would have liked
should
to
do.
see what's it like? Like from back to Bloodborne, the snake people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People to hit them hard enough, and then they go "Rrrr," and snakes pop out of their head.
Yeah.
Something like that with a super mutant.
Yeah.
You're
Would be
shooting it,
amazing.
and all of a sudden, its chest opens up into teeth.
Even if it just
That'd be
suddenly
cool.
turned into a gargantuan or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, a bit bigger than normal ones, or
But I quite like the fact that you have these. You can tell these legendary enemies very quickly because they've got the stars next to them.
Yep, so you know that they're
So you
bad.
know-
Or you find a raider with a name
yeah.
and you know, these people are the
I miss
nasty
Daka
ones.
Daka. And that's a real raider I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Did he have a machine gun?
He had a minigun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to enjoy him because I walked round the corner, shooting raiders, going la 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 la. I was in one of the military installations looking for parts.
Yeah.
And then Daka Daka stepped out in kind of a silverish metal armour, sunglasses, a blonde mohawk,
Nice.
and just unleashed a minigun. The first one I'd seen in the game. Unfortunately, I jumped round the corner, and I think one of them stepped on a landmine,
Right.
which killed everybody instantly. I then popped my head out going, right, this is gonna... Oh,
Yeah.
all 4 are dead. The 3 raiders and Daka Daka instantly
Aw.
killed by their own landmine.
Yeah.
So I took all their stuff.
I have noticed a little bit they don't seem to know where their own traps are. I was rescuing somebody from an area that previously cleared out that they regenerated into for me to do again.
Yeah.
New enemies. And I was talking to one of the characters to pipe in the doorway because she suddenly decided that I'd done enough for her to have a conversation with me, irritating me. And I heard a boom off in the background, and suddenly all the blips turned red on my map. They all went, "Where are you? Who's that?" And then I eventually got in there and noticed that several of the traps had been set off. And there was a lot less enemies in there, and there were sort of corpses littered about where they'd blown themselves up, just wandering around, patrolling.
If you want to have fun with your sniper rifle, because I've been enjoying this, when somebody's on a rooftop, a high rooftop, that would instant kill them from the fall, shoot their gun out their hand.
Yeah.
Because 50-50, well, half the time they'll pick the gun back, they'll run over, pick the gun back up. The other half of the time they'll pull out a combat weapon and run off the rooftop directly at you. And it's bloody hilarious because you just they look confused, pull out this weapon, look down at you, and then jump. And you just get this raider going, ah!
You still get the XP.
Yeah, because it counts as you having shot them, you're the last person to hit them. Nice. And it's just hilarious watching this 3 or 4 raiders all go, I'll not be outdone by Jeff. I'll do a better jump than that. Last thing about the combat is the way that works. It doesn't pause the game anymore.
Yes.
Which I find massively annoying.
No. You are wrong once again.
It is irritating, but it also feels more like you are being very careful and clever.
I like the idea, but targeting the right body part or targeting the right person in VATS is so fiddly sometimes that you've got someone charging towards you and you're like, I need to kill this person, they're about to hit me with a super sledge. Right, I've got a shotgun, I'm going to shoot them in the head in VATS. Pause the game, and you flick up on the stick, and you target their leg, and then you press left, and then you're on their arm, and then you can't actually get it to go on the thing, and then you accidentally nudge the other stick, and you're targeting the mole rat behind you, and then you get hit, and then you die.
I will admit,
it doesn't happen a lot, but it's just a little bit too fiddly sometimes.
I have found an annoyance, especially in one fight where it was the Diamond City security versus super mutants.
Yeah,
I went into VATS because a mutant hound was running at the guards, and I felt sorry for these nameless NPCs, so I went to target the dog in VATS to kill it very quickly.
Yeah.
Targeted one of the Diamond City guards. That was it. Instantly went, no, one of them. So I flicked it to the left and it went, so you want to shoot the other Diamond guard? Went the other way and it went, now you want to shoot the turret. 6 miles in that direction. You could barely see. By the time I got to the dog, it'd eaten one of the guys to death.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's what annoys me. Sometimes it seems to be operating on a slightly different plane of existence for the rest of us.
Especially when you're looking at an enemy and then it targets
something off to the side.
Else. The thing I do like about it is when you have a ghoul in your face pulling one of your arms off, it adds to the pressure of going right click, oh god, it's still moving. I remember I didn't like realise it paused the game, and I went into VATS, looked at this mutant and went, oh, that's a nice model, because I have to look at models and then realised that it was actually about to hit me. It'd gone from about to swing to actually swinging into my face, which crippled my head and blew my shot off target anyway, so it was...
Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm alright. But I quite like the pressure of it. The finicky annoyances of...
It helps with the combat flow.
I think
it keeps it moving.
If it was just smoother to target, it would be absolutely perfect.
I think it needs a bit of tweaking.
Here you go, Bethesda. Patch it so the creature I'm looking at with my cursor is what I'm about to target in VATS first.
Yeah, I have used VATS. You can use it for all sorts of sneaky things. So you go up to a raider base with your sniper rifle, and you just enter VATS, and it goes, there it is, and then you leave VATS, zoom in, and there you go, you've got a nice shot. You go, oh, there's some mines around here, enter VATS, leave it, because it will zoom in on the mine, leave it, pull the trigger, you automatically got your shot lined up, you'll always hit it. There's lots of little tricky things that you can use it for that...
I used to do that in Fallout 3. Just wandering around the wilderness, go, VATS, no, nothing here, VATS, nothing here, VATS. Oh, look, there's a thing.
Distance.
I still do that.
But because it's the Vault-Tech-assisted targeting system, it's helping you.
Whose origins are unknown and unable to replicate.
Yay!
That's what it says on the loading screen.
Yeah,
it says that they don't know where it came from.
Memorise the loading screens. You used to be cool, Colin.
Yeah, I did. No.
Well, we spend a lot of time staring at them, so...
That is another thing. It does take a long time to load stuff.
But there's a lot for it to load, so...
No, don't care. No sympathy.
Now, here's a big thing.
My plate fell through a table. I'm upset. Just thinking the final part of the game then... really the way the game works and the way it sort of cycles the different things you do. The exploration.
Yeah.
Now, I said earlier that the game feels for having the interesting stories, the characters, the quirkiness, the game feels too big. I think there's still some of that in there. We've come up with some examples, actually, and you guys have seen different bits that I haven't seen mentioned. But 90% of the time you go to a new location, it's going to be synths, raiders, or super mutants.
Yeah.
They built a base, you kill them all. There's a nasty one at the end of either lurking at the back of the base or inside it at the bottom or at the very top. So they've kind of recycled a lot in that way. But I still enjoy exploring. I think because there's the feeling that there might be something really cool.
Yes.
And everything's much closer together than in previous Fallout games. It used to be...
packed.
You'd always have one of those sort of empty location icons that says, due east, there's something.
Yeah.
You'd normally, they've always chained those together well. So if you start in a direction, you head somewhere, if you've not explored that area, there's somewhere for you to go. But I'm looking around and going, there's like 6 icons. I can go in any direction.
My map in Boston, the icons are overlapping one another.
Yeah,
with
things are
just
really close.
I mean, I was walking down the street and it went library. Yeah, genetics lab, this place, they're all down. I think I unlocked 6 places on one street and just went, Jesus, tap dancing Christ, I just want to get out of here.
This is why I never got on with the main story, because what I did in the previous games, like, okay, I'm going to go do this quest. Right? As a explorer of the wasteland, I've been playing in character. If I find something, I'm going to look in there in case there's something useful I can use, keep me going for the next bit. So I was doing that again in this one. It's like, well, especially as I'm going to find stuff to build my base up with.
Yeah.
And I just spent hours going through one location, 30 seconds later finding another new location, exploring all that and everything else. And I was enjoying it every time I was doing it. But I had to pull myself away from it to get back to the main story because it looked like it's just going to be another 40, 50 hours of me just wandering through a small street.
Yeah.
That actually...
I've been pulling the map back and going, there's a big blank spot there. I'll fast travel to the nearest point to it. Oh, yeah, loads of empty icons. Right, off I go. And I'll just explore.
I'm enjoying the exploring more in this game than the last. I tended only to explore quest-related locations in Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Because I didn't feel the need to explore, where in this I'm going, I need ceramic. Oh, there's
You're
a pot.
obsessed with ceramic.
It's a plate factory.
Or, well, actually, most of it has been steel. And I look at my map and go, there's a robotics place over there that I passed and unlocked. Right, I'm going to go straight there.
I found 20 plates the other day.
Yeah.
Joe, just to rub it in, really.
Well, I've got 17 hot plates that I found at...
I love hot plates. Steel, screws, copper.
Yeah.
What's the location? Because I don't know. Have you been to the... This is off track, really, and this might get cut, but have you been to the General Atomics?
Yeah.
No, I haven't yet, actually.
With the big... Mr. Handy in the centre.
Yeah.
Because that is funny. There's essentially a theme park with all Mr. Handys, and they're all playing up. Each building is different. You've got like a bowling alley, a cafe, a shop.
Yeah.
I walked into the cafe after taking out the 2 Mr. Gutsies that were guarding the place.
Everyone else stays friendly, though. They've just gone a bit mad, haven't they?
Yeah, I killed them all. Well, yes, I won't explain why I killed them all, but there's something you can do.
Yeah. There's a little quest in there, which is quite nice.
But one of the things that I walked into the cafe and he went, we've only got coffee. Everything's gone stale. I put in a order 150 years ago, but they haven't arrived yet. I really must chase them up. And you can see there's gas going on in the kitchen. So is that gas? He's like, yes. It's been happening for 72 years. Maintenance haven't turned up. They're lazy immigrants. At that point, he goes, right, would you like a coffee? I was like, coffee? Yeah, why not? And he goes, right, okay. Today's coffee is 100,000 degrees or so. It was like 600 degrees or something like that. At which point, it takes you out of the talking, and it went, right, just be careful, because this was going to be steaming hot. At which point I went, gas. And you're boiling something. Ran out the doorway as the whole place exploded.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which made me, first of all, go, God, I'm a genius for getting out of there. But it made me piss myself laughing, going, that's really funny. And it does that. Every building I went to, something like that happens.
And this is the thing I was saying, there's that bit, again, quite quirky, quite interesting, that little area.
God, that was mad, that place.
There's just there's just not quite enough of them.
No, there isn't enough of it.
And they've spread it out a little bit too much. And the radiant quests, as they call them, where Preston says, I've got something different for you. No, you haven't, Preston. You've got the same old shit that you give me every single time.
That's become so predictable. It's now an internet GIF everywhere.
Yeah, it's a big thing. A settlement needs your help. No, I don't care. I've actually got to the point, because any time you complete one of his quests, he immediately gives you another one. Now, what happened to me was, not only did I have an active quest from him, I also found a settlement in the waste, so that started another quest.
Yeah.
I turned both of those in, thinking it would save me travelling to Preston twice. He then gave me 2 more quests. So I've now permanently got 2 quests, and they time out.
Oh, God.
So I keep getting all these reminders. You need to help these people. You need to do that. So what I've done is I've got them to the point where I'm about to turn them in, and then I've gone, I'm not telling Preston in case he asks me to do something else. Which is really horrible. It's not the way to save the waste, but it's just to stop him giving me more stuff.
Oh, I can add to that, because I felt like I was going to punch the prick. I was in my base, quite happily, building. Well, I wasn't even building. I'd rang the bell, summoning everybody. Preston walked past. Now I did the same as you. I had a quest from him that I still haven't done, and I found 2 out in a wasteland. So I've got 3 going on at once. He walked past. Didn't stop. I didn't click on him to talk to him. He walked past and went, "A settlement needs your help." And then it went, "Location added to map." He was walking away and still telling me what was happening, so I don't know what the quest is about. It just went, "Map updated with another location." Map updated. And I went, "You haven't even stopped to say hello. You've just walked past and gone, do some bloody work." So I just want you. This tower isn't building itself.
This is really annoying, because I'm their general.
Yeah,
right. Being told what to do.
Now, as much as people criticise politicians for, like, we've had the floods recently, and people have said, the politicians, there were people that were away, like the head of the Environment Agency was in Bermuda or Barbados or wherever he was. I know that they want him here to help coordinate things, and I can understand that race, but they don't expect him to go up there with the bucket and start bailing everyone out. That's not what the general's for. I just want to go, look, tell that guy over there, all he's doing is he's rubbing a potato. Get him to go. I'm the boss. I've got other stuff to do. I've got a child that might even be an old man. It's very confusing. It's quite odd. So I've got I'm now not telling him that I've done the jobs just so he doesn't give me more stuff to do.
You know what's worse? They're endless.
Yes,
Once you have completed every single one, it resets
and it randomises them.
It randomises them.
Yeah. So he will 10 of them.
That's where all the internet gifs of. Oh, see, I've got 3 on the go, 4 now because he randomly walked past and shouted at me, and I'm not doing any of them.
Yeah.
The great thing is I've done one just because I realised the place they wanted was old robotics factory, so I did it, cleared it, and then stole everything.
Yeah.
They've now moved in. One of them's already dead, and they're at 5% happiness. I haven't even handed in the quest, and there's a good chance they're all going to die. I just like the idea of going back and going, I've done that. Oh, they're all dead now.
It will probably fail you, from what I know.
That's fine. I don't
That's not
care.
entertaining.
The only
so we can cut.
The only reason, they really annoy me, those settlements, because I know it's like the Raider one who've built the farmland on top of the mountain where everyone can see them.
Yeah.
I want them to come and live with me.
Yeah.
And they don't want to. Now I understand
I had a
stubbornness.
girlfriend like that, it's fine.
I mean, I understand the stubbornness of, this is my land and no raider's going to take it from me.
Yeah.
And I can understand, Britain with the flooding and people not wanting to leave their homes mainly because they can't afford to live elsewhere.
Yeah.
When I'm offering you a free city to come and live at, with defence currently 124 because I cut back on it, come and live there? Really, your tomato plants on your hill can't be that important to you?
Colin, check your privilege. Stop going in as an outsider and trying to displace the indigenous people of the wastelands. Yeah?
In that case, that's fine. Build your own bloody turrets. I've said that already, but I'm going to emphasise it. Build your own bloody turrets to get your defence up. I'm a housewife from future 1950s. How do I know how to build turrets in the first place?
This is Another massive plot hole. Go on. You've not said anything for ages.
Weird that you're playing a character who appears to have just what is a bog standard normal life, and if you play the bloke, I'm presuming you've had some kind of military background.
What happened?
Bloke is ex-military.
If you watch the the very first bit when you first load the game, it's a male voiceover saying it's the male character saying, "I went off to war. I fought for my country. I've come back. I've got my life, and then everything's taken away from me." And it's got that idea of the souring of the American dream. You've done what you're supposed to do. You've been patriotic.
You've got your free vault place.
Yeah, you still end up with your son being taken away. So the fact that he comes out and he goes, "I'm going to get my son back," it's fine. She's a lawyer.
Yes, and yet she understands how a gun works. She's quite happy to brutally murder the first people who start taking pot shots at her. Now, I don't know what futuristic 1950s is like, but apparently if you burgle a household there, you're going to get a las pistol to the face.
Now, this is the other thing.
To be fair, it is America. So you probably are going to get a pistol to the face.
This is the thing that got me, is that I went, okay, she's a lawyer. That's interesting. I'm going to make a charisma-based character and do all the lovely talking and story-based things that Fallout games have allowed you to do.
Yeah.
Where it will say, go and murder these people over here, and you turn up and go, "Hi, I'm Jeff. The people on the other side of the hill want me to kill you all. Why don't we pretend you're dead, and then we'll split the money?" Or you'd have all these different things. Now it's go kill those people, and you say okay, and then you get there and they hate you on sight and they try to kill you anyway. It's lost some of that, so I feel like I kind of wasted lots of points pumping up my charisma and taking the speech things. They come up occasionally, but not very often.
When the quest you haven't done yet in the underground vault, it's very 1930s almost, because everyone's wearing tuxedos, and,
like New Reno.
Yeah, they're all looking like Valentine. It suddenly turns into a film noir.
Yeah.
He's got a girlfriend, the main mob boss, who he calls Dollface. I convinced her to shoot him in the head, and I'd let her live. At which point she shot him, and then I immediately shot her because
you're an evil
sod. But what I like about going back to the characters making no sense is I'm playing the female, so I am a lawyer and a housewife, who has all the scars from my Mass Effect character. I have a cut lip, I've got burns on my face, obviously from cooking. I am heavily and brutally scarred, and it makes me laugh, the fact that I'm a lawyer. So where was I a lawyer?
You playing Daredevil. It's like I'm a lawyer during the day, but at night I fight crime in my tiny little suburb.
I just love the fact that the first thing my character built was it's a brave new world and I'm a lawyer. I'm going to build a gun turret. Okay. That's fine.
Oh, it's tonally inconsistent, is what it is.
Oh dear, isn't everything these days?
A little bit.
Fallout 4, just not having quite so much emphasis on the conversation and things outside of the combat.
Yeah.
It used to be that you'd go into the bar and Buddy behind the bar would say, "Hey, I want you to kill Jeff. I don't like Jeff. Kill him, steal his chems, bring him back to me. I'll pay you this much money." Now, at the moment, you can say yes.
Yeah.
You can say yes sarcastically.
Yes.
You can say yes in an evil way, like, "Yeah, I really like killing people. It's lovely."
Yeah.
Or you can
say maybe.
You can say maybe and walk away.
And then it will give you the plot line for you to click on if you want to.
Yeah, there might be, "Give me some more money," or there might be, "I definitely don't want to do that." But it doesn't. And you can either basically accept the quest or not. What used to happen was you'd go, especially in the older ones, you'd go, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that." Then you'd go and find Jeff. I go, "Jeff, Buddy told me to kill you. He wants all your chems." And Jeff would go, "Oh, quick, right, let's do this. I'll give you this much." And you could then turn around and go and kill the other guy.
Yeah, I remember.
And now there is one quest that I've come across that's a bit like that.
Oh, okay.
It's very much like that. I may have taken my example from it. But it's not as often. It's generally, "Oh, you need to go, I want you to go kill these raiders over here." Yes, no, give me some more money.
Yeah, there's a lot more ambiguity.
That's it.
In it.
It's yes or no. It doesn't have the moral sense of how are you going to survive, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do.
Was it Broken Steel, the one that's set in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No, Broken Steel was the expansion to the original
it was the
one.
Anchorage one, wasn't it?
Anchorage.
Operation Anchorage was the big robot thing.
it was Broken Steel
was the very first one, where you had to find all the ingots.
Yes.
Yeah, it was incredibly ambiguous for its morals. You had no idea who was actually the good guy, the bad guy, and that, and you could play everybody off against everybody.
There's one of the plot arcs to do with the synths that is ambiguous and gives you those choices.
It does.
Otherwise, there's not so much of it that I've found.
I've realised what's missing: the karma system. That's been in all the Fallout games and isn't in this one.
No, it's a good point.
There's no karma.
There's also no reputation.
No.
You used to get reputation perks. So, like Fallout 2, you could go into the cemetery with a shovel and dig up all the graves and nick all the stuff.
Yeah.
But you get the gravedigger perk and people would go, you're that weirdo that has sex with corpses.
In Fallout 3, a higher reputation would add to your intimidation or your diplomacy, depending on
if you had good or bad.
Good or bad.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. Now, they're not necessarily bad because...
it was a little bit too paced.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter, all that kind of jazz. It can actually be more ambiguous not to have a karma system.
Yeah.
And it could be, it could be quite interesting. But it just doesn't seem to mention that at all.
No.
Occasionally people will go, you're that guy that did that thing. As you walk past them.
Yeah.
And then the next person you walk past go, you did that thing because you're that guy. And it's like, okay, right, shut up.
Listen, the Oblivion used to do that as well. It's like, you've defeated this person. Or you win the gladiatorial battle. Oh, you're that great gladiator.
That's
and then
the
5
thing,
minutes later, the next guard will go, you're that great gladiator. And I was like, in the same voice.
I used to be
there were only 7 people watching me. I looked in the crowd.
I used to be an adventurer like you until I took an arrow to the knee.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Fallout 4 has been comprehensively weighed and measured.
Yeah.
We've been thinking quite a lot about what our test for a game is going to be.
Yeah.
What we're going to weigh it against, what we're going to measure it against. And there's only one thing that I really care about. Is it fun?
And
that should
comprehensively not answered. So we're going to say it's not moved the scale.
Is Fallout 4 fun? Because really, that's why we play games, isn't it? You play games to enjoy yourself. There's different types of enjoyment.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, for instance, it's one we come back to. It's fun because it's challenging and you feel like you've accomplished something. But I would still say that's fun. It's a type.
Well, is that the same as playing Silent Hill? Being scared is not normally quite fun, but
in that context, it is.
Yes, like watching a horror film sometimes.
Yes. Yeah. Being scared can be fun. So we're not going to go into defining fun.
No.
Because everything's going to be fun in a different way. Is it fun? Is Fallout 4 fun?
Yes. I wouldn't keep coming back to it if it wasn't in some respects. I just don't think it's fun in the way they intended.
Yeah, no, that's a fair comment.
Yeah, I again, same as everybody else around this table, I keep going back to it. Yep. I'm still looking forward when we stop podcasting to go and carry on playing it because that's what I want to do with my month. It's fun as long as you don't try and think of it as Fallout 3. Although there's lots of similar things about it, it feels very different.
Yeah.
See, it has the same look to it to me.
Yes.
It has a lot of the systems haven't really changed. Yes, levelling up. We haven't even talked about levelling up, for instance. But I think it's fine in the new one. It was fine in the old one. They're different, but they're okay.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar. I mean, you've got the same setting. Yes, it's different geographically, but temporally, it's the same.
You could stick you could stick the White House into Boston, and you wouldn't notice the difference.
Yeah, where it takes place is dressing. Relevant. It's got the 50s feel.
Yeah.
It's got the same tropes, the same ideas.
Yeah.
It feels like more of the same with a tweak in direction for me. I don't think it feels particularly different. I think it's upped the importance of combat.
Yeah.
It's focused more on that smoother action side of things.
Yeah.
At the extent maybe of using some of quite a bit of the role play bits.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's the same, tweaked.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that different.
the gameplay. Yes, as you said, it's tweaked here and tweaked there. It feels different to me because the whole base building and the fact that screwdrivers and tin cans are actually important now change who I am as a character.
Yeah.
I'm not a person exploring the wastes for the point of it. I'm trying to build a shed and I need these 17 screwdrivers to get the steel. I feel in some way more immersed, but I'm less immersed with the quests.
Yeah.
I'm more immersed with my character as a silent protagonist, just going around trying to make a living.
But she's not silent. She talks.
No, yeah, but when you're not doing quests.
Yeah.
And I feel as if I'm kind of living a life rather than in Fallout 3, was I'm travelling to do quests.
Yeah.
In Fallout 4, I'm travelling because I need to survive.
Yeah.
I need to find some corn to feed my people. I need to find some metal because we've got no roof on our house at the moment.
Yeah.
And that makes it feel different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I can't really add much else to it.
Is it fun? Are you enjoying it, Aaron?
Well, like I said, I mean, I've not been as absorbed in it as I have in previous games because there's less of the story role-playing
Yes.
structure as such, but I am still enjoying it in the same sense I enjoy Minecraft.
Yeah.
I want to go in, I want to collect things, I want to survive and build stuff up.
Yeah, I'm finding the thing that's drawing me back into it is not, I need to find out what happens next in the story.
Yeah.
There's no narrative pull whatsoever for me at this point. I could quite happily, I've not quite finished, I know I'm quite near the end, I've not quite finished the main story, and I couldn't care what happens to Sean. It doesn't
scrapped
matter.
his crib for the parts.
I filled his crib up with stolen teddy bears and human skulls, so he'd have someone to talk to.
The game judged me because of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I scrapped it,
yeah.
and now every time I go into the build section, it's there as a unique item. You can build Sean's crib. It's not just crib, it's Sean's crib, unique item. It wants me to build it. So no, I've scrapped it. I've moved on. That's it. I'm sorry.
I've moved it into the house across the road. But I've still no. That's my main house because it was next to the workshop.
Oh, that's one of my blocked off areas. I'm not allowed in there. I needed the space, damn it.
But yeah. The thing that's drawing me back in is not the story. It's wanting to make that settlement happy. It's wanting to build that bar that looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's wanting to find out what's over the side of that hill. Whereas what I quite liked about the previous Fallout games was stumbling into the weird stories, meeting the strange characters. I can look back on my time playing the other Fallout games, and a lot of my memories of it are character based or story based. Yeah. Those weird moments, those quirky little things that happen. In this one, it's going to be, I built this really cool thing, or I found this strange area that I wasn't really supposed to find,
or I got into a fight with a super mutant and caved its skull in. Combat-based stories and going, I took on 17 super mutants at once and this amazing thing happened.
Yeah. So, to me, I mean, it's still... It would almost be better for me, I think, having gone in expecting the Fallout style of story and such like to be really prominent, to actually it have had a different name and be sold as more of an action RPG than an RPG.
Yeah.
And I'd have been happier. I think I've adjusted to it. I wasn't keen on it for the first few hours, a bit like...
I did the same thing. I turned it off. I got bored.
Yeah, you went, it wasn't what I expected.
No, it wasn't Fallout.
But it is a fun, exploring survival building game.
Yes.
With some Fallout stuff tacked on.
Yeah. Once you adjust to that, if you go in expecting Fallout 3 plus another, you are at first going to be disappointed, but after a couple of hours, you'll end up putting it back on just like I did, for reasons unknown, and then you'll go, actually, this is amazing. It's just not Fallout. They could have called it Happy Mum's Adventure Time looking for her son, and it would have been. It could just do it as a different franchise.
Happy Mum's Adventure Time looking for her son.
Yeah, Chinese. Chinese, yes, we'll get the next Fallout game. We want it from the Chinese point of view.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'd love Fallout London.
Fallout London.
I want to know what's happening in the UK.
Oh, we're all fine. We weren't involved in the Cold War.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there drinking tea going, well, that was a jolly shame.
Yeah, based on 1950s things, yeah.
Yeah, and there'd be more ceramic teapots for you. Actually, if you're going for 1950s, we had nothing.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing to loot because there was nothing before.
No, most of it had been blown up.
You'd search through the wreckage for memories of a time when things weren't shit. And they'd have decayed anyway.
Back in the 20s, before we got involved in the war.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a good place to round up. So we have weighed and measured Fallout 4.
Yeah.
We've said it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a great combat game.
Yeah.
It's a great exploration game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great building game.
Yeah.
As long as you can deal with some of the foibles of the build system,
Once you
which
get-
work
yeah,
around it.
Yeah, you'll work it out quickly enough. You just have to get your head round some of
The tweaks.
yeah.
What it isn't for me is a great Fallout game.
Yeah.
It's not a great story-based game. It's not a great role-playing game.
No, it's not a great RPG.
But the rest of it is enough to keep bringing us back.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's Fallout 4, Weighed and Measured. I've been Brian Ennis.
I've been Aaron Ravinsky.
And I've been Colin Howard.
Until next time, bye!
Bye.